singer named Justin Moore.
We don't do a whole lot of bullshitting up here. We just get up here and play country music.
Check, check, 1, 2. Welcome back, everybody, to this week's installment of the Justin Moore Podcast. This being Season 3, Episode 15 of the Justin Moore Podcast. I'm your old buddy, your old pal, JR the Handler, and on the other end of the Zoom machine for me this week is Saline County's favorite singing softball coach, Mr. Justin Moore. What's going on in Arkansas, Just?
What's up, man? 15th episode this season, really?
Yep.
Golly, man, it's flying by.
I know, churning through them.
Yeah, we've had some great guests too, so that's been a lot of fun. We'll talk about some of those, some of the most recent here in a little bit, but fun to have some guys that we have known and some that we haven't known and have gotten to know throughout this season. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this season as well, and with each day we get a day closer to getting back out on the road. Everybody's been asking me around home when we're getting back out there, sporadically until July, but from July to the end of the year, looks like we're going to be pretty busy. You and I were on the phone the other day going through some travel plans, and I know there's one point in maybe August or something like that where we're going for like 3 weeks straight, and we were going, golly, 3 weeks in a row. We ain't done that in years, even before the pandemic. But I think our wives and my kids, they'll be fine with it because we've been home for a year and a half, basically. So they're probably ready to get rid of us. So
our sanity and routine and everything else, no doubt. It's happening. Yeah, August. Yeah, we've got a couple of weeks there where we're doing 4 or 5 shows a week. I mean, during weekday shows, weekend shows, the whole thing, West Coast, East Coast. So I'm fired up about it. And I know a lot of people have asked me about meet and greets and stuff, and I'll put it out here as a mass broad statement. I don't know when that's coming back, guys. I'm sure it will at some point, but as of now, until they get some other stuff figured out on our end, how that all needs to go moving forward, I don't think that's going to be happening on the reg right now. But I'm sure we'll let you guys know when that does happen on our end. I'm not speaking for everybody, but I know that my other TM buddies that I know, I haven't heard of any of them doing anything like that yet. So just want to put that out there. And two, so any of my buddies out there, don't hit me up needing meet and greets for anything, because I'm not asking nobody for a while. So let us get back to work. Let us get the kinks worked out. Let's make sure remember how to do the main part of the job first, and then surely all that stuff will come back soon. And we've got a couple coming up. I know I wanted to drop on everybody. End of this month, we still got May 29th, Colorado Springs. I know there's still a few tickets left to that. Playing at the soccer stadium there. That should be good weather and good times.
And I think that's Memorial Day weekend, I believe.
It is. Yes, that's the Saturday of Memorial Day weekend.
It's kind of funny because I'm thrilled to be going back out and playing a show, but I'm like, golly, why couldn't it be the week before or the week after? Because we always do lake stuff with all of our friends and their kids and everything on Memorial Day. And I'm like, But, hey, happy to be getting out there and going to work. And
absolutely.
Beautiful part of the country to be able to go to, and a great time of year out there. So,
yeah, should be nice. Yeah, I'm going to fly home Sunday, and that's Charlotte, on my youngest little goddaughter's birthday. And I'm hoping that I get back in time to make it to the crawfish boil at Grice's house that afternoon.
There you go.
So, and then we'll still have Monday. We'll be home Sunday. We're not doing a Sunday show or an actual Memorial Day show, so maybe you can still get out Sunday afternoon and relax Monday some.
Had to get me a fly home early like you.
Yeah, well, it's not too far of a bus ride, so you should be home. If you get on the road soon as it's not a super late show, so you should be home at noon 1. Hopefully, if y'all get on the road at a decent time. And then after that, we've got June 4th at the Ford Center in Evansville, Indiana, and June 6th at Hop Springs in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And I know that's like one of those, they're doing pods and stuff. I know a few people have played there already. They're doing the pods and things, but I think they have some GA as well. So I think there are a few tickets for all of those left. So check those out on justinmooremusic.com. And enough about that. But yeah, looking forward to get back out on the road. Before we go forward, let's go back. What'd you do this past weekend, Just? Have anything exciting going on in Mooreville, or did y'all just softball it up as usual?
Yeah, we had a softball tournament in Maumelle, which is just outside of Little Rock here at home. And, we flashed and had some really good moments, and then we had some really poor moments as well. So, if you guys remember, we won the tournament the weekend before, our first tournament win of the year, and first in a couple of years actually. So we were feeling pretty good about ourselves, and then we had 3 really close games this past weekend. Won and lost a couple. And one of the ones we lost, the first game actually, I think we lost 4-2 or something like that, and really had our opportunities to win the game. Just made too many mistakes, and that team went pretty deep in the tournament. So we're right there. We're not good enough to play okay and compete at the highest level. We got to play pretty good. It's so funny, man, at this age, and I told the kids this, that if they play well, they're as good as anybody out there, and we can compete with anybody out there, but we have to work on getting more consistent. Instead of making 9 out of the 10 routine plays, we're making about 5 or 6 of the 10 routine plays on a regular basis. And, and then you'll have a kid go up and have a great at-bat, battle, fight pitches off and draw a walk or put the ball in play, and then the next time up, they'll go up there and they'll look like they had never stepped in a batter's box. So it's really about getting more consistent right now for us. And if we do that, man, we can play with anybody. But we got another tournament coming up this weekend. While we're on softball, I'll give you my schedule for the week. This is insane. People always ask, "What are you doing during your time off and all that?" And I do this whether we're working or we're not. I just have to miss sometimes when we're working. But so Sunday we had, or I'll go back to Saturday. This past Saturday, we played ball hour from the house. I don't know. The first game was at 8:30, I think, or something silly like that. And so we left the house at 6:30, and we got home about 7 p.m. because we wish we would have got home about midnight, because that would have meant we would have played longer. But then Sunday, get up, go to church, and then I had 6 hours worth of softball practice between the 3 girls. Each had a 2-hour practice. Last night, we're recording this on Tuesday. You guys will get it in a couple of days, but last night on Monday, had a doubleheader with Klein. Tonight I got a doubleheader with Ella and Ken. Wednesday will be church. Thursday, a doubleheader with Ella and Ken. And then Saturday, tournament about an hour and a half from the house. And then Sunday I'll have 6 hours of practice.
Good night.
So it's go, 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 go. And then the other thing going on this week, this is the last week of school for the kids. Matter of fact, they're out of school now, which it just kind of snuck up on us. So I asked Kate the other day at church, I go, is this their last week of school? I just kind of randomly thought about it. And she goes, yeah. And so we expect them to be in school all week, but none of their friends are going to school the whole week. So yesterday was their last day of school. So
everybody's at home.
It's good because we'll get to sleep a little later in the mornings, but at the same time, they're home all day. So us being able to get stuff done during the day like we're accustomed to is going to be a little more interesting.
Yeah, wow. Well, that is crazy. It's already snuck up on us. Summer's here, but you get these tournaments in, then y'all have to have state stuff coming up soon. I know I saw our and that makes sense now. I saw this morning on a post, our girls from my high school, Elmore County High School, are traveling today to go to Oxford, Alabama to start state tournament type stuff for the softball team. So I guess you guys are right there too, because I know I barked off your calendar. You've in a couple of maybe a Saturday next month, you've got Ella's state stuff.
Yeah, I think it's the middle of June, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, state tournament, and so it's
it's here.
It'll be fun. And I've said it in the past, we're a super young team. I mean, a lot of these kids on this team, we're playing 12U, but really a lot of them could be playing 10U still, and we could go dominate. But we've got a couple of older girls that I've coached, and they've all been together for so long. We just go ahead and move up our younger kids, and down the road it'll be good for them that they're playing much better competition. They're facing girls throwing dang near 50 mile an hour each weekend.
Wow.
And not because she's mine, but I'm gonna brag on Ella for a minute. I talked about her last weekend playing really well, and man, she's just playing great. This is easily the best year she's ever had. And I might have spoken last week about her hitting, switch hitting. She's been taking lessons to do so for a couple of years, and we kind of. This is the first year we put it into game time, doing it in a game, real games, and man, she is raking from the left side. It's just crazy. She's actually a better hitter from her left than she is right, and she's naturally a right-hander. So it's pretty fun to see, man. It's fun to watch. She I think this weekend she probably hit about 500 from both sides, something like that. And
yeah,
it's just,
and being
it's
so
insane,
young, doing
man.
it now, and doing it so young. I mean, she's just gonna get better and better at it.
Yeah, it's because in softball, I mean, you can start from the left side. Once you get the swing down, which now she kind of does, like then you can start slapping the ball, which means for those out there who are not familiar, in softball, you can basically start running and hit the ball while you're running, in a sense. And then if they play you up, you know. On the left side of the infield, if they play you up, then you can just slap it over their heads, a little bloop over the third baseman. If they back up, then you can drag bunt, and if you can do it well as a lefty, you're almost unstoppable to get out.
Yeah,
you know. So we'll try in the off season to work on that kind of stuff. So it's pretty neat.
That's awesome. Yeah, it is. It's a lot more to it than you'd think. And like I say, being young like that and getting it dialed in.
Klein, on the other hand, is 0 for her last 8 at the plate. So I'll give you a couple of quotes from her last night. That's who played last night. So, and she's really been hitting the ball all year. She plays 8U, and she's 6, playing 8U. You know, she'll be 7 here in July. But so. I really wasn't expecting a whole lot, honestly, because her first real year would have been last year, and she didn't get to play because of the pandemic, and they didn't have her age group because of that. But she started, and she hit the ball probably half the time off its pitching machine, 35 mile an hour at 35 feet. But the last couple of weeks, she's just been awful, to be honest with you. But she So I'm telling her what to do, and she goes, "Dad, it's just my first year." And I go, "Well, I know it's your first year, but what does that have to do with anything? You still need to swing level and not chop at the ball, and you still need to keep your eye on it or whatever." She goes, "It's not like we're trying to win, Dad." I go, "Yes, we are trying to win. What are you talking about? Like, stop it." Yeah. So anyway, it's pretty funny.
Oh, that is Kleiny. I can just see her just smiling. She's like, "It's not like we're trying to win, Dad."
Yeah, she told me. I almost slapped her. I go, "Yes, we are. What are you talking about?"
We're definitely trying to win.
So we're just trying to have fun. I go, "It's more fun to win." Which we did win both games last night. But she didn't really help.
No thanks to Kleiny. That's funny. Good stuff. Well, speaking of winning, I hope everybody won earlier this week on tax day. I know I had to get a little extension before I got all my stuff coming in. Monday was tax day. And I hope it treats everybody well. Good Lord. They never quit.
It didn't treat me well.
No, me either. That's why I say we were in a pandemic. I worked. I mean, it seems like, anyway, through all that, I still had to give them their piece. But anyway.
Yeah, I never do. We never do our taxes at this time. I mean, we always have to file an extension because of, we have to pay taxes in every state we play in, which is just, I can't even imagine my accountant and the ridiculous nature of her job.
Their whole office right now.
It's got to be just insanity. I mean,
all the different organizations they run and deal with. I mean, just to keep up with all those numbers.
So for those out there listening, like, you have to pay taxes in your state, obviously, and federally, obviously. But can you imagine doing it for every single state? I mean, it's just insane because there's different rates and stuff. It's crazy.
Different codes. Yeah, no doubt. Well, on a brighter note, I want to say congrats to my state, the great state of Alabama, for becoming the 37th state in the union to legalize medical cannabis. I want to say a big round of applause to everybody for getting that done. About time. Maybe they'll get some other stuff done around here. I know it's controversial about the lotto and the gambling and all that stuff, and it's just it's almost at this point it's futile to even attempt to try to fight it. Everybody else has got it. If people keep leaving, it's just like, if people want to do it, let them do it. I don't know. I'm sure big businesses get their way with it, and it hope that goes in the right way, but you just think about all the money you lose to people go buy lotto tickets and stuff in other states, and you're like, man, our roads sure could use some pepping up around here too. So
yeah, no doubt.
This is the start of some of that kind of stuff being. I mean, we can at least talk about it and think about it. It's just like a lot of topics and issues. It's not a 2-minute your say, my say. All right, let's pick between that. There's long, drawn out discussions that need to be had.
Arkansas did it a couple of years ago, which I was kind of surprised by. But man, when you see the Bible Belt, Arkansas, Alabama being two of those, when you see them going for it, it's just a matter of time before it's every state. In the country, and really, as you said, it should be. And I don't care if you're a proponent of it or a detractor of it. I mean, it should be legal. It's certainly no worse for you, and in a lot of cases, much better for you, or maybe in every case, than something like alcohol, for instance.
Ask anybody that's in the medical field how many people they've had to treat for alcohol poisoning or sick off alcohol or cigarettes or hard drugs or any of that. Then ask them how many times they've had somebody come in there dying from cannabis.
It's not
nurse,
and you know this better than anybody. It's not my thing. I don't do it, but I certainly don't have an issue with it. As long as we
don't either.
As long as we can police it, and if there's a breathalyzer type thing for people not to use it and then drive around or whatever.
Right.
And I don't even understand why it is a conversation at all. I mean,
well, and it's like anything. If you're committing a crime, then you're committing a crime whether you're doing that or doing something else. If you're committing a crime, it should be illegal. But something like that,
I kind of
look at if it. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I just look at it as, man, if it helps anybody, because I remember when I still lived in Nashville, there was a lady up there with her child who was having 80 seizures a day. It was just so bad. And this little bit of goop she could put on his tongue a couple times a day helped him. I remember sitting there thinking, if anybody thinks, anything but let's get this kid some help, and I'm not saying you should be, abuse anything or take it or misuse it if you don't need it and things like that. Same with people who do misuse anything. But I feel like if it can help anybody, God, give it a shot,
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I mean, you mentioned if anybody's abusing anything, then certainly we should have a way to police that or stop that or whatever. I liken it to, like, let's say a murderer who, you hear all these people who oppose guns and certain types of guns and magazine capacities and all this and that. Well, if they don't have that, they're going to go get a knife and stab somebody or make a bomb, or they're going to find a way to do what they want to do, unfortunately. I mean, as terrible as that is. But to your point about helping a child who's in pain, or, before my grandmother died, 8 weeks ago, I was trying to find a way to, because she absolutely would not, she smoked her whole life, but she absolutely would not smoke a joint. Right. I was trying to find a way to slip something into one of her drinks, like a weed mint or something. Just to ease her pain. Not obviously, I didn't do that. I don't want people to freak out. I mean, I would never have actually done that. But
anything it would take to help your grandmother.
But just to make her feel better and ease her pain. And certainly if my child is just in horrific pain, I'm going to do whatever. Or if I'm in pain, I put a needle in give me cocaine, give me hair. I don't care what it is. If it's going to help me, whatever. Right. Or anybody that I love. You know?
God knows what's in all the pills we take that's supposed to
Oh.
help you with this. You know.
Yeah, we could go
these-
way down. We could go way
yeah.
down this.
And then
rabbit hole,
and
but-
you and I know, and we've known about it, for a while now, since we've known Dallas Page, because we both know the story of he and his ex-wife going when she was they
Pretty
told
incredible
her-
story.
Yeah, she had breast cancer, and they were telling her she needed a double mastectomy and this and that, and Dallas loaded up, went to Mexico, and they used medicinal. Homeopathic stuff and cannabis stuff, and they beat it. And she never had to have any of the surgeries or anything.
Yep,
And
never had anything.
cancer free
Yeah.
for 8 or 10
pretty
years
incre-
now. She's
pretty
been cancer
incredible.
free. Yeah, and he
We
said,
should have him
they
on
just
to tell that story.
we should.
It's
should.
pretty incredible.
Yeah, but things like that. I'm just saying. Yeah, I don't think you should abuse anything, anything and everything in moderation. It's like, hell, I can go over here to McDonald's and get me a sack full of 50 cheeseburgers and eat them all and probably have a heart attack. I mean,
Right,
that'd probably be worse for me than anything I could get from the doctor that's supposed to help me.
There ain't no probably about it. Yeah, that's a fact.
Guaranteed. So everything in moderation. And
I
as
did
long
have
as
a
it's
quarter
done-
pounder with cheese yesterday, though. I will have to admit, it was pretty good.
Yeah, they are. Well, see, moderation. You had one.
They
you had one.
have-
You didn't have
yeah,
one three
I will
times.
say
Three
this.
times a day, 4 days a week.
McDonald's used to be disgusting to me, but they've stepped their game up or something. It tastes like real meat now, and it may not be still, but whatever they've done over the last, I don't know, handful of years, it's much better. Because and the only time I ever go there really is when I have South, because he wants chicken nugget Happy Meal,
Right.
But it's rare that I'd eat that. But I was buying
They are
groceries
good.
yesterday. It was right there. I wanted a glass of tea. They have good tea, and I'm like, hell, I'll get me a quarter pounder with cheese. Why not?
Why not? Absolutely. Yeah, that's my. I do too, and I agree. They've gotten better. I think it was going back to that. About the time we met Dallas, there was some big thing going on with them having to. It was about the time they started having to put the calories on the menu, and they had to tell what ingredients were in stuff, which makes sense. Yeah, everybody should know. There's. God, once again, we could have Dallas on to tell us about those documentaries on how you get food and stuff to change your mind on all that. But anyway, back to a bright spot. Yep, want to say congrats to Alabama on pushing that forward. Thank you, Mama Ivy. Talking about Mama's, my nephew's Mama, his grand, my mom, her birthday is actually tomorrow. She will have had a birthday by the time this airs. We'll say happy birthday to Mom out there, May 19th. Happy birthday to her.
Don't say your age. You'll get in trouble.
No, I'm not. I do have. I don't know how I'm gonna do this later because I do have her song pulled up as the guest song on their birthday thing. I'll figure out. Give me the rest of the episode. to figure out how
Hell, she
I'm gonna
probably
work
don't
that in there
listen
later.
to us.
Yeah,
she don't
right.
listen
No.
to us two knuckleheads, probably.
Oh, one thing real quick before I jump on this next one's we were talking about our eyes getting worse as we go on. I actually booked my appointment. Booked 2 appointments with the doctor today. Second one being the eye doctor. June 10th, I'm going to find out, and so I'll know after that what's up. And once again, I was hoping to do it before we got on the road, that I kind of get used to them before we get out. But that's going to happen.
I need to, but you know me, I don't ever. Jr.
know.
and I are complete opposites. Jr. goes to the doctor all the time.
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe unnecessarily, and I don't ever go, and I should.
No, no. My thing about it is, I was telling somebody this yesterday because my thing about it is, I've been lucky enough. I've ran pretty hard all these years, and to still be kicking, I feel pretty lucky on all that. And I've heard too many stories about, dang, if we could have just caught it a little earlier. Dang, if we'd have just known, we'd have caught it before this, something like that. And I just figure if I go once a year, get all my blood work done, get checked out. I'm 41, about to be 42 this year. At least maybe if something changes, they'll know, and maybe I won't end up in some bad situation. But yes, I will go. I do go. I went last week after I said I didn't feel good. I didn't have strep throat and I didn't have COVID. I just had a sinus infection, but it still bothered me. But yes, I will go to the doctor. I used to hate needles until I realized that if you have strep throat 2 or 3 times a year, and you can take pills for about 15 days in a row, 3 times a day, or they give you a shot and it's gone, I just grin and bear it. I still hate them, but
I always take the shot because I'm terrible about taking medicine. Like I'm the guy who, I'm totally the guy, and you know this well, that they go, now even when you start feeling better, you need to finish this prescription.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm totally the guy who doesn't.
Oh no!
Yeah,
oh no!
Which I recognize is a terrible trait of mine, but I do nothing to to fix it.
Right. Yeah, I get it. That's why I'm constantly trying to work on stuff. But so anyway, I've got an appointment,
Including
so
me. He's constantly
full
trying
time.
to work on me.
Full time. So I'm like, take the good stuff, leave the bad out. So I'll let everybody know in a few weeks how that goes down. So from medical cannabis to the NBA, we've got the play-in playoff starting. By the time this airs, it will start. It actually starts tonight, Tuesday the 18th. So I'll be watching the first games we've got. This is crazy. This on the East, we've got Indiana and Charlotte, which. It's crazy looking at the records this year. Everybody's pretty close. Like Utah's got the most wins. They're 52-20. You know, you can think about teams over the years. You know, we watched that thing last year on The Last Dance. They won 72, 73 games, 72, and then the Warriors, some years back had 73, and you remember 60-win seasons. But 52 is the number this year Utah had. And then you got Boston and Washington in a play-in, which Boston was, they were supposed to be leading the pack in the East this year. And then the other side is the crazy ones here. San Antonio and Memphis, which you could probably see that coming. I hate my Pels didn't make it, but just wasn't the year for that. But then Golden State and L.A. Lakers. You got LeBron and Steph playing for the play-in.
I love that.
I know one of them's not going to make it, and I think
that. I wish they could tie at 0-0 in that game, and neither one of them make it because I can't stand either.
I'm almost pulling for Golden State this year because everybody wrote off Steph because Clay got hurt, had no help, none of this. And Clay has just, been unstoppable. They're putting 5 people on him. He's just shooting Steph. What did I say, Clay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I meant Steph.
Clay seems to have been hurt for about the past 6 seasons for some reason.
Yeah, right. He has.
And he's so fun to watch. But, yeah, Steph, he's got to be the MVP, right? I guess him or maybe Westbrook's made a case, too.
Well, I looked at the number. I looked at the thing they put up yesterday. They had the Joker. Yeah. The Joker from Denver. He's got really good numbers. Joel Embiid's got good numbers.
Embiid. But Steph seems to have done it on his own. Really?
Yeah, that's what I pulled out of the list of people I saw on the list. Everybody had real good numbers, and I was thinking Julius Randle's numbers probably the best, but he's probably done the most with the team. And then Steph's averaging 32 points a game. But a lot of these guys, like the Joker and them, they're 26, 10, and 8, and a lot of these guys are like that. They're averaging almost triple doubles, and it's going to be a close one. But I would have
they're averaging almost triple doubles. Westbrook has averaged a triple double.
I know, and he wasn't even in that list that I saw yesterday.
How?
That's what I said. I said Russ has got to be on this list. So anyway, that'll be interesting. So everybody watch the NBA playoffs and let us know what you think. Who's going to come out on top? Early prediction for me. Man, I don't know. You got one, Justin? You got it. You don't know. You don't watch much. Anything off what you have seen or heard?
You mentioned Boston. They've been disappointing this year. I wonder if they're going to get rid of Brad Stevens. I don't think he deserves all the blame, but he definitely has to shoulder some of it for them kind of underachieving,
backpedaling a little bit,
in my opinion. But they haven't had their guys step up. Kemba Walker and I forget the other guy. They really just haven't stepped up.
And they've had some injuries too.
They have had some injuries.
I don't think anybody in the NBA's had their whole team all season.
Utah, as you mentioned, has the best record, but
yeah,
boy, I for some reason I just don't. I don't know. I don't see them winning at all. But you're much more well-versed in the NBA than I am, but
it's almost like it's like baseball in a lot of ways. It's about who gets hot, who's on a run.
Yeah,
and because a lot of times it's dominance, but these teams have all aligned themselves to where every team is so strong. You can't just go off of they got the 3 best players. It's going to be between this one and this one.
I tell you who I'd like to see win it, just because I've always kind of had a soft spot in my heart for the Bucks, because they drafted 2 or 3 Razorbacks back in the day. Todd Day, Lee Mayberry being a couple. I think even Oliver Miller, who all 3 of those played together at Arkansas. I think he was even there for a while.
I had all their basketball
Portis
cards
is there right now. Bobby Portis is there right now. And I like the Greek Freak. So, I'm kind of rooting for them in a way. But, there's a difference in being as good as I'm not even going to try to say his name. I'm just going to say Greek Freak.
The Freak.
As good as he's been, and then rising to a whole different level in the postseason and carrying a team to the championship. But I think it would be fun to see that. But the Nets are really good, right? Too.
Yep, their second seed.
Are they completely healthy? Because I know they've had
like
some. I know that they have a big three in Harden, Kyrie
Irving,
Durant, and Kyrie Irving, and certainly they all have experience in the postseason, deep into the postseason, and even two of those three have won multiple championships in Irving and Durant, and so I don't know. I would probably give them the edge right now, but I'm kind of pulling for the Bucks.
Yeah, if Philly can shoot and get hot, they've got a good run at the Bucks. Same, yeah, they made it deep last year. The Hawks, the Heat would be fun to see them pull out, and if there's possibility one of these teams out of the play-in tournament could take it all. Indy's got a good team. I think out of the East, the story. I like Jimmy Buckets, so I like Butler. I think it'd be cool if Miami could pull it out. But the story for me, and I'm not traditionally a fan of theirs.
When they were close, was it last year? They were in the
they went all the way
against the Lakers.
Yeah, they went all the way. They surprised everybody.
Well, I would argue the East is way stronger than the West, and in years past it hasn't been. It's been the opposite.
Exactly. Yeah, it's turned. The tides have turned, and that you would. It looks that way at least. But the Knicks, what they have done this past year with Julius Randle coming in and with R.J. Barrett, not much of a no name team to be sitting at number 4, is crazy. So I would be neat to see them go back with no hype, no nothing. A guy, which I hate. The Pels lost him. I wish we could have kept him when we got Randle from the Lakers. In the trade, then we got rid of him when we ended up getting Zion and some of that stuff. But I really like watching them play. He's a lefty. He went to Kentucky, but that's okay. SEC at least. But that would be a neat story. Shout out to my buddy Robert Randolph, guitar master, Knicks fan. I know he's always pulling for him. I know he's happy about this. And on the West, go ahead.
No, so speaking of the Pels, not to throw us off topic, but I saw a mock draft, I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago that had our Arkansas's stud this past year, one and done, Moses Moody going to the Pels. So I may have to get me some Pels gear. I may jump in the boat with you if he goes there.
Yeah.
I think they had him going there like, I don't know, 10th or something like that.
And Kira Lewis from Alabama's got some playing time this year too, so maybe he'll
I may have to jump in the boat with you.
We'll have Bama and Hogs together.
I might have to stick with my Steelers. I can't go Saints, but I may have to jump in the Pels boat with you.
There you go. It's close. Happens. We can make it down for some games. We can go to Houma and visit, and Kate and Sharice can stay and visit. We can go to a game or something.
There you go.
But we're not going to see them in the playoffs this year. But yeah, Utah's got the best record. Clippers are in there. Can't count out Kawhi Leonard, stud. Dallas creeped back up to 5th, and they were out for a while. Luka Doncic, he was in the thing too. He's averaging near a triple-double. Denver Nuggets, strong team. Joker. Portland, you got Dame. You can't count that guy out.
Hey, if Denver wouldn't have lost their point guard, best player, arguably.
Yeah.
What's the kid's name? He went to Kentucky. Murray.
Jamal Murray.
Man, he's fun to watch. If they wouldn't have lost him, I would have them higher on the list of potential champions.
Yeah, true. But I think my pick out of the West is going to be Phoenix, man. I'd like to see Chris Paul pull it out. He's one of my favorite players ever to watch, and I think they're sitting at number 2. They're 51-21 record.
Yeah,
nobody
and he's like
saw
36, 37, something. He's getting
at
up
least.
There.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, but I'm with you, man. He's one of my favorite players ever. He's just so smart. You talk about a QB in football being the field general, and he is that for a basketball team, which a point guard is on a basketball team. Man, he's in so much control.
Yes.
It's so fun to watch him.
Yeah,
and he's
prototypical. That's what you want right there. He's not too big, he's not too small, he's not too thick, he's not too thin. He's just your prototypical point guard.
He's just so smart. His basketball IQ is through the roof. You can tell it by watching him. It's crazy.
Yeah. So that would be my two. I think that's who's coming out, but we'll have to all wait and see. On from basketball to baseball, we talked about our Braves. They're sitting 19-22 right now, which is only 3 games back in the division. You know how baseball, it's a long season, so I think they've still got a good one. Giants got a nice record.
Boo.
Mets, I know, right? Mets and Philly in our division both still playing pretty good. American League, the usual suspects, Red Sox, A's, Stros. White Sox got a nice record this year. They're sitting top of the AL Central, right in front of the Indians. One of my favorite movies of all time. Major League.
Oh, yeah.
Charlie Sheen, Rick Wild Thing Vaughn. So that's your baseball rundown real quick. We're early in the season, a lot more coming on that. I've actually got to jump on just next week. I just had an email from some guys that do a podcast that's mostly about baseball, so I may need to get hearsed up on that. They want me to jump on and chat with them next week. I'll let everybody know once that's done how you can listen to it. But they usually talk about baseball, but they want to talk about music and a little sports. And I'm like,
Nice.
well, baseball's my weak spot, but I'll give it all I got.
Hey, man, I'm not even concerned with I know that our Braves are 3 games under 500, but I'm all into college baseball / softball right now because it's postseason time. Finally,
Yes.
My Razorbacks have been number 1. For I think this is the 11th week in a row. In the polls, which is just insanity. I mean, anybody who follows college baseball knows that that's just really unheard of. I mean, baseball's a sport that anybody can win on any given day because your bats don't show up, pitcher, leaves balls up in the zone and gets touched up or whatever. And but man, they have not lost a series all year, which is just insanity.
Wow.
And that includes obviously SEC series, I think 8 or 9 in a row now. The only team to ever go undefeated in series victories in SEC play is Vandy. I forget when they did it. So we have a series against number 8 or 9 Florida this
9.
coming weekend. Number 9 Florida coming up this weekend. If we win that series, we will be the second team ever to go undefeated in SEC series, which is just crazy. And here's the crazy thing about it, and I mentioned this last week. We've done that, and we're only 1 game up in the West. It's insane.
That's crazy.
It's
crazy.
Crazy.
Well, dude, out of the top 5, 4 teams are from the SEC. 1 Arkansas, 2 Vandy, 3 Mississippi State, 4 Tennessee, 5 Texas, TCU, Texas Tech, Notre Dame, Florida. And then you got Ole Miss down at 18. Got Southern Miss at 19. Shout out Jamison and his boys.
So then
South Carolina's the 25th. I mean, and it's all
so
Texas, Kentucky, Louisiana. I mean, La Tech's in there at 14.
Not only are we the only team to take every series this year so far and only be a game up in the West, the team that we're a game up on in the West, we swept at their place in Mississippi State.
And you're only up 1 game.
So it's crazy. And we're up 1 game.
Insane.
Yeah.
Well, how many more?
It was a really interesting. This is the last regular season series this coming weekend. Florida at home. Razorback Baumwalker Stadium is the name of our park, and it will be at 100% capacity for the first time this year. So it's going to be crazy. Matter of fact, so if we take 2 or 3, we'll be the overall SEC champions. We haven't done that since 2004, so that's the goal.
Nice.
I think if we win 1, we might at least take a share of the West, maybe. But we had a crazy series this past weekend against Tennessee, which I will say I've watched. You know me, I've watched every game we've played this year. And the thing about our team, we do have a lot of talent. We recruit really, really well, and have a ton of future major league ball players on our team. But the grittiness and the resiliency of our team is is just through the roof. I mean, they're never out of a game. They could be down 3 or 4 in the 7th, and they think they're going to win, and they do a lot of the time. Tennessee is the only team I've seen us play this year that matches that. They were really, really tough, man. They were good, and I see them making a deep run, maybe even making it to Omaha this year. But you probably didn't see this. I meant to send you a video of it, but Tennessee's head coach was a longtime assistant under Dave Van Horn, who coaches at Arkansas, and got his opportunity to be a head coach at the SEC level because of his time at Arkansas. Not solely, but a lot of it was that. And it was a really tightly contested series. I mean, each game was a run. It was decided by a run. We were this close to sweeping them. They walked us off in the second game with a 3-run homer. We were up 2 going into the bottom of the 9th, and they walked us off. And anyway, they could have swept us. We could have swept them. It was that close a series. But we ended up taking 2 or 3. And so these guys, these two coaches, you think they have a great relationship. Well, they went off on each other on TV at the end of the series. Got in, up in each other's face. MF for this and that. It was God. It was pretty wild. And Dave Van Horn, who I know personally and is a great guy, and he's a legend here in Arkansas and really in college baseball overall. Whatever happened, and I don't have a clue what happened, what triggered all of that, but whatever happened, it must have been something pretty crazy because DVH doesn't do that. So
right.
Might be a neat little rivalry starting between us and Tennessee in baseball.
Tennessee?
That's if Tennessee can hold on to him, because the rumors are that and I hope I'm not boring everybody with SEC baseball, but as we all know, I'm the baseball guy here. So rumors are that Paul Maneri, who's LSU's head coach, and has done an incredible job there, is retiring at the end of the year, and they're going to go after Tony Vitello, who's the Tennessee head coach. So anyway, we'll see. That could even make it even more of a rivalry, because we're both in the West, and LSU's always good in baseball, and somebody that Arkansas hates for a lot of reasons. But anyways, really, it was a fun series. But also, JR, as we're talking about softball, congratulations to the Alabama Crimson Tide ladies, because they won the SEC tournament championship, their first since 2012.
Yes,
and
I
their
saw that.
third baseman or their catcher won. She broke the all-time Alabama home run record, or maybe the SEC record. I forget, one of the two. I know Alabama, but may have been SEC overall. But yeah, they won the overall tournament, and I don't know how they decide to do this, but they play the SEC tournament in Tuscaloosa, which is, I got to be honest, is pretty unfair.
It's a beautiful city, Just.
But anyway, congrats to them, because they won the SEC tournament. So
yeah, we're like, y'all, we'll just do it at our place. Y'all come on, we'll do it here. No home cooking. We'll use our refs. It's fine.
Right.
We'll use all our stuff.
Well, it's like they always do the SEC tournament baseball in Hoover too, and I'm like, why? Like, why? There's so many great minor league parks in our region of the SEC. Like, why we always got to do it in Hoover? Like,
I guess isn't the SEC the SEC?
Oh yeah,
SEC
offices are in Alabama, of course. Why wouldn't they be? I mean,
well, it's the center of the South. It's the center of the South.
There's more places that are in the center.
It's the heart of Dixie, Just. But yeah, she did, and she was SEC's Player of the Year. I know. Montana Fouts, our pitcher, she was the Pitcher of the Year, I want to believe. You guys had
co-pitcher, with
co-pitcher of the year,
yeah.
And then your buddy Courtney Deifel won Coach of the Year this year.
Yeah,
the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first time we've ever won the SEC ever in softball.
We racked up
the
red teams racked up some awards in
for
college
sure.
SEC softball this year for sure. Well, thanks for dropping that in on us.
So we're I say all that to say this, that we play in Conway this week, softball tournament, and Friday is the second game of the Florida series at 7 o'clock in Fayetteville, which is about an hour and 45 minutes from Conway. And at noon, our softball team, who is the 6th overall seed in the NCAA tournament, plays and they're hosting the regional there in Fayetteville as well. So I'm thinking about taking Ken and Ella to the softball game, and then the baseball game, and then we'll go to Ella's softball game. So that'd be kind of a fun weekend.
Oh, yeah. Nice little daddy-daughter weekend catching some hog sports. Yeah, that'll be fun. That's awesome. Yeah, it's going to get interesting. I look forward to seeing all of our SEC teams do well as they push forward in this NCAA baseball season. On to real quick, I want to give, while we're talking about stats and standings, want to give a quick update on our NASCAR buddies over there. Denny Hamlin's leading the pack so far. Martin Truex, Joey Logano, a couple of Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick, Keselowski, Kyle Busch, the normal suspects in the top 10. Then our buddy Austin Dillon hanging in there at 11. Hope he makes a good push to get on up in the series championship run there later on in the year. And I know for those guys, this weekend they're racing Sunday in Texas, the Circuit of Americas, and then Charlotte the end of the month. So a couple good races coming up. If it's in your area, go check those out. That should be fun. I don't know what their capacity stuff's gotten to at this point, but I know I've always had a good time when I did get to go to NASCAR races. It's been a while, but give those guys a shout out. AD, pull through. Don't really have anything. I don't have the charts in front of me this week. Everybody's still rocking. I know didn't have much of Still Climbing, but did want to give some new stuff that's coming out. Wanted to give some shout out some music that's out there now, some new stuff I saw coming out. Cody Johnson and Willie Nelson are doing Sad Song and Waltzes, which is going to be the first release off of Cody's new fall double album he's got coming out. As y'all know, we're big fans of Cody Johnson and what they do. My buddy Adam Sanders, I don't know if you know Adam. He's a good songwriter. I've known him for a long time. He's got a music video out now for his song Bible Verses. Pretty cool. We were talking to a member of his family last week, but John Michael's son, Walker Montgomery, who I've got to meet once or twice, nice guy. Young up-and-comer. He's got a song Out of Nowhere out now. And then our buddy Travis Denning, former guest of the show, has a song out now called Call It Country. And our buddy, I have to give a shout-out to our buddy Kurt Burdella over at The Morning Hangover. He dubbed Travis as the second coming of Justin Moore. So I've got to hear this song. It must be a country, rowdy, beer-drinking, hell-raising song. I hadn't heard it yet, but I will definitely listen to it after that and see if Kurt's true with that. I don't know you to be a left-handed guitar slinger from Georgia, but I guess he's the second coming of something.
Hey, well, hopefully Travis takes that as a compliment and not a knock.
I'm sure.
Yeah, as everybody knows, we're big Travis Denning fans, so that's pretty cool
Absolutely.
to hear. We had Travis on the podcast, so if you didn't hear that one, go back and listen to that one. We did that one, I believe, last year while I was at the beach, and so, yeah, that's pretty cool to hear.
So anyway, and want to give a shout out here in a minute. We're going to bounce out. We're going to come back with some Q&A, but before we do, want to give a shout out to our guests the last couple of weeks. Dylan Carmichael, our buddy last week, Hot Beer is out. I hope y'all went and bought it. If not, go get it. I've had a bunch of people hitting me up saying they're enjoying it. And yep, it was good. It's good
Very
stuff.
good. Yeah.
And then the week before that, we had our buddy Jamison Rogers on. So y'all make sure, if you hadn't already, go download his stuff. If you hadn't heard that episode, go back on YouTube or Spotify or iHeart or iTunes or wherever you listen to the Justin Moore podcast and download those and listen to it. And while you're there, go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, notification button. Give us that 5-star rating. A little short review would be sweet also. And go on YouTube and watch it again too after you've already listened to it. And tell your friends. And I know my grandmother got a new phone. My mom finally got my grandmother a phone. Didn't replace her flip phone, but we got her an iPhone so we could FaceTime her. I call her on her regular
an iPhone?
Yeah, so I'll call her on her flip phone.
Hell has frozen over.
Right. So I tell her, I'll call her on her regular phone, tell her to get her iPhone out so we can FaceTime her and stuff. But I went ahead on her phone and got the podcast out and went on and downloaded the Justin Moore podcast on hers too, which she may never listen to it, but that's fine, Granny. I appreciate your support.
And we've said it before on here. Honestly, we're too dumb to understand why all that stuff helps.
True.
But somehow it does. So we urge you guys, if you do enjoy what we're doing, please go do that. I mean, it could be one line. Podcast is awesome or whatever. I mean, whatever. All that stuff helps us somehow. Again, have no idea why or how, but it does. So please do all of those for us.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we can secure
you're
good guests.
You're getting this for free. This is all free. So
but we got to But we got to pay
appreciate
we got to
it.
pay Cody for his time. Cody puts a lot of work into this thing. We got.
Oh no, it's costing us money, but you're
that's
getting
what
it
I'm
for
saying.
free.
Exactly. So that's why I want to say that all that stuff helps. That way we can secure these sponsors. The sponsors doesn't go in my pocket or anything. We're trying to make sure we can pay for all this stuff and make sure it gets out the way it does. So,
and we both
that's why
need
we
new
y'all to do it.
computers because ours have apparently just sucked over the last couple of months, if you will. So it might secure us a new computer to be able to handle this this stuff.
That'd be fantastic. Yeah, if we could get a few more sponsors, so I could get a new computer in here. Because I don't. And while you're on YouTube, after you've watched the Justin Moore podcast, this will be my YouTube video of the week or DVD or album of the week. We were talking about it a little before air. Just go on YouTube and go in the search bar and press "laughing dongles" or "dongles laughing guy." There's this guy that they impose these words. This guy's talking in Spanish, but they put the caption under it, and it's discussing Apple removing all of the ports on the side of their computers and going with the now dongle system. Just
one of the funniest videos ever made, ever created.
Ever. Yeah, and y'all let me know if you think it's very funny, but just go on YouTube and look for laughing guy dongles or dongles laughing guy. It's a guy in a pink shirt.
As soon as we get off of this, and he's missing like his 2 or 3 front teeth.
Yes, and he is laughing so hard.
It's hysterical.
But it's funny because in context of that, yes, we need new computers because, my dongles don't work. That's why we're starting late day because I had to unplug, and now this one's out. My ports don't work. So anyway, yes, so we need y'all to do that. So again, use the hashtag Justin Moore Podcast everywhere you listen to or watch this podcast, and please hit those rate, like, subscribe, notification, 5-star rating, and a little short review. We sure appreciate it. Thanks to our past guests, and look forward to some new guests coming on in the next few weeks. Got a few nice ones lined up for y'all, so y'all stay tuned each week for that. Hit that notification button. You'll know when this drops, and it'll already be there when you get up. But we're going to come back with some Q&A here in just a minute. Before we do that, I want to make sure y'all know, again, to go to Justin's website, justinmoremusic.com. Look for those new tour dates we've got coming up. I know a bunch of those things keep popping up over the weeks, stuff later in the year. I know I've had people asking me, is this date going to happen? Is this date going to happen? Just check out the website, and the calendar will stay updated as we update some shows. I know some are moving and dates and this and that, but it's looking nice. So y'all go check that out. He's got the new NFT, the non-fitted tee, not the NFT thing. We don't understand how it works, but a non-fitted T-shirt. Y'all go make sure to get that and all of the tour merch we have on there. You can find on his merchandise page. Also, if you get a chance, go to jrthehandler.com. I've got a new merch page, got a link to it there, and I've got a couple cool new designs up. And let me know if there's any designs that I should come up with, and I'll work on trying to make those. These look primitive because I am primitive, and it's nobody helping me. It's just me do it. So
I think you need to make a hat with your logo.
Yeah, working on that. Yeah, working on that.
I love the shirt.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it without my picture, just the handler thing on it or something, one of those Richardson hats or whatever they are. But yeah, that'd be cool. So y'all go check that out, and then we get back here. We're gonna get on this. I've got about 5 pages of Q&A and some shout outs and all kinds of fun stuff. So y'all don't turn us off. Y'all tune us in. We appreciate y'all. We'll be right back here shortly on the Justin Moore Podcast.
Hey guys, I'm so excited to announce an awesome opportunity with one of our sponsors, Bobcat Company. Today we're announcing the Straight Out of the Country giveaway, where you can enter to win one of 3 pieces of Bobcat equipment. They're giving away a Bobcat compact tractor, a Bobcat zero-turn mower, and a Bobcat utility vehicle. The utility vehicle, also known as a UTV, is one that I've been using on my tour, and I can tell you, it's a great machine and one you would be so lucky to take home. To learn more about the giveaway and to submit your entry, go to bobcat.com/country. We're excited to partner with and announce that We Are Airstream, located in Chandler, Arizona, is coming soon. This is going to be the largest Airstream dealership in the nation, featuring a lush green destination park, 80,000 square foot of climate-controlled indoor storage, world-class service and sales. Visit the Mecca of Airstream at weareairstream.com for all your travel trailer needs. Hey, what's up, guys? Justin Moore here. I want to remind everyone out there listening that my wife Kate has an awesome children's clothing boutique in downtown Benton, Arkansas. It's Central Arkansas. So if you're local, come see us at 119 West South Street in downtown historic Benton, Arkansas. Again, that's 119 West South Street in Benton, Arkansas. And if you're not local, we ship everywhere. So you can find us at shopthislittlepiggy.com and see all that we have to offer, all that my wife Kate has to offer, I should say. Facebook, you can find us at shopthislittlepiggyAR. And Instagram, you can find us at shopthislittlepiggyAR. But check us out. It's called This Little Piggy. And see what we got to offer. ShopThisLittlePiggy.com.
Hi, y'all. This is Brandon Bing, singer-songwriter and whiskey maker. You're tuning into the Justin Moore Podcast. Visit EasyLiquor.com to grab your bottle of Bangtail Whiskey and join the Blue Collar Swaller family today. Follow us on all socials at Bangtail Whiskey for more news and updates. Now pour Jigger and take this a second ride with us.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Justin Moore Podcast. You're here with us this week, third week of May, as we record this on May 18th. You're listening to this hopefully on May 20th, 21st, somewhere in there. I'm your old buddy, old pal, JR the Handler. With me this week, as always, is Justin Moore himself. We're not singing any songs today. We answered some Q&A. So before I get to that, I got a couple of little shout-outs I want to give here. One's a couple of these are like comment-type shout-out stuff. One is to my old buddy Hal Bruni, the old gypsy high roller himself, my brother from Morgan City, Louisiana. Talked to my buddy Wayne Mills, all them good Hank Jr. songs. Hal sent me a little deal the other day just on the side. This was a text he sent me. He said, "What I've heard of the new JM record sounds great, brother. Hearing Things is my favorite so far, i.e. in his language. But Hearing Things is my buddy Hal's song right now.
You know what's cool about this record, maybe more so than any other, is there have been 4 or 5 songs that I've heard from people that's their favorite, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the same one by everybody. So hopefully that means that it's a solid record front to back. And so thank you, Hal.
Sir.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Yep, I agree. That's exactly what it means. Top to bottom, great record. I knew it before it came out because I'd already heard them. And everybody who's hit me up said, "Yep, you're right. This is a smash." So yeah, and if y'all want to, go check out Hal on Facebook. Hal Bruni. He has a thing he does every morning on Facebook Live. It's called Hanging with Hal. He does it early in the mornings. He plays a couple songs, gets you in a good mood, have some coffee, tell some stories. It's real cool. It's called Hanging with Hal. His name's Hal Bruni, HalBruni. Y'all go check that out. When you get a chance, he does that every morning. It's really cool. You might even see me come in there and chit-chat with you some mornings if I get up in time. Next shout I got here is got to give a shout-out to our buddy Mike Frederick here, at Mike Frederick 19 on Twitter, for sending us a pic of him rocking the original Show Day Black Justin Moore Podcast T-shirt. He sent us a picture, and he's wearing the podcast logo on the black Show Day shirts, kind of like this Merle Haggard shirt I'm wearing today, but it's our podcast logo on it. It's pretty sweet. If you ever see me walking through an airport, that's usually my go-to is that and black Alabama jogging pants, red Nikes. But yeah, so go order you one today. Shout out to Mike for getting his Justin Moore Podcast tee and sending us a picture of that. If anybody gets any of our merch, or podcast merch, mine, JM's, whoever, send us some pictures. Use the hashtag Justin Moore Podcast. We'll spread them around, share them, all that kind of fun stuff. I'll get them to Cody. He can post them, that kind of stuff. So appreciate y'all doing that. All right, let's see. Here goes one that was sent in to me on jrthehandler.com. This is at Bradley Smith 14. Hey, JR, huge fan of the podcast you and JM do. The Travis Tritt and Red Akins episodes are absolutely hilarious. This is one of my best friend's license plate from when we was in high school, and he sends a picture. It was Hankit, but instead of an A, it was a 4, so Hankit. We graduated in 2014. Even had the sticker 2014.
Wow.
So we would have been jamming JM, hitting dirt roads all through high school. His name is John Smith. He listens to the podcast also. I haven't told him I was going to send this in, so I thought if y'all want to talk about it on the podcast to bring it up, surprise the heck out of him. Keep doing what you're doing. We love y'all from Fayette, Alabama.
John,
so yeah,
what's up?
Yeah, John Smith with his Hankit license plate back in 2014.
You know, they use that term John Smith as like, you know.
Well, I'll be John Smith.
Right. I don't think I've ever met a John Smith. So
there he is.
So there he is.
There
but
he
man,
is.
that's really cool. I tell you what's cool about it is, you know, it makes me feel old, one, but in another, I guess, more positive way of looking at it, it means that we've been around a long time, which is really, really cool. And, you know, I've had, at Ella's tournament this weekend, for instance, I had a couple of teenage kids come up to me and were like, are you are you are you what's your name? I was like, Justin. They go, like Justin what? And I go, Justin Moore. And of course I'm in complete game mode, at the time. We're getting ready to load stuff into the dugout, and I'm like, we need to get ready to play because we played like crap in that last game. Whatever,
Right.
And they're like, man, we've been listening to you since we were like 12. And I'm like, oh gosh, man. But it's really, really cool, I give you another example. I went into I had to get a new battery for my tractor, which as soon as we get done, I got to go bush hog, but because it's awful out here. But anyway, I go into O'Reilly or somewhere yesterday in Malvern, which is the town right next to us, as you know, but it's like 15 minutes from my house for those listening.
Right.
And nobody gives a rip at all. I mean, every now and then there's somebody like, hey, man, or whatever. But I know a lot of people over there is my point. And so they don't really care. And this there's two guys everybody here's been into an auto parts store. Everybody listening, I'm sure. So there's this big, long, huge counter, obviously. I go up, I bring my battery in. I'm like, man, I'll see if y'all had another one of these. And the guy helping me was super nice. And there's a guy standing there who's probably 20 years old or something. I don't know. Had a strong mustache game, though.
Strong.
Props to him for that. But he goes, what's your name? I go, Justin. He goes, Justin what? I go, Moore. He goes, you do country music, don't you? I'm like thinking, well, obviously, if my name's Justin Moore and I look like Justin Moore, how many of me are running around Malvern, Arkansas? Not many. I'm like,
right.
Yeah, I do, man. I hadn't done it in a while because, all the stuff's been going on. And oh my God, he pulls up my music on his phone, and the guy helping me, he turns to him, he goes, you don't know who Justin Moore is? He goes, if you're from Louisiana and you don't know who Justin Moore is, that ain't good. And the guy goes, I'm not from Louisiana.
Oh my gosh.
And then he starts playing my music on his phone, and I'm just kind of standing there going like, I just need my battery for my tractor.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling bad for the guy who has no idea who the hell I am.
Yeah.
He's like, man, that sounds great. I'm like, yeah, man, thank you. I appreciate it. All right, see y'all later.
Yeah.
It was
gosh.
so funny, but it's cool, though. I mean, I'm not making fun of the guy. I mean, it's neat because to get those reactions still. But it's so funny to me because, like, and for everybody out there listening, and some of you guys I know personally that listen to this show, but, like, when I wake up in the morning and look in the mirror, I just see me. Like, not country star or whatever me, like, just me.
Yeah.
And so to get that reaction is still kind of, it still kind of catches me off guard. Like, I don't really know I don't know how to react to that reaction, I guess, is my point.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I saw. I actually did the same thing to John Anderson last year during quarantine. He's got a place down here, and he was at the Builder Supply, and I basically did the same thing to him. Hell, I'm in the business, but so it just happens. But he was in the same thing. He's like, "Yeah, I just need some nails, man," kind of deal. But so I guess and two, going with that's an testament to your music that you've stayed good enough and not pissed enough people off where they're still hanging out and claiming you 10 years later. You know what I mean?
I guess so. I'll take it. But anyway, it's kind of funny.
Absolutely. Yeah. Shout out to all them fine folks in Fayette, Alabama. No
John!
doubt. Bobby John Smith. I got a shout out here. A guy hit me in. Bailey Norton and his fiance just got married this past weekend, May 15th. So congratulations to them, listeners of the podcast. Congrats on your nuptials.
Congrats.
I think that was one they actually hit us up, wanted us to do something on there, but we weren't together, guys, so I didn't get to do a video to you guys. But anyway, next one I got here is from Xavier Buralaga. That's a tough one. But Xavier says, just a comment. I love the podcast. Thank you for mentioning the George Jones show that you can find on YouTube. Holy crap, there's some good shit on there. And you guys definitely need to watch the Ken Burns documentary on country music. It's a little long, but worth it. And I know you guys would love it. Thanks for keeping it country.
Awesome.
Yep. Yeah, no doubt, Xavier. That if you hadn't yet, what he's talking about is the George Jones show from like the 80s and 90s that was on for a season or two that we talked about a while back. And then, yes, the Ken Burns documentary. I've seen 1 or 2 episodes of that series, and I look forward to
Hey,
watching
honestly,
the whole thing.
that reminds me that we just spew nonsense for an hour and a half during this usually or whatever. And you think, well, hell, who's listening really? But I've had even like friends of mine. Like most recently, a friend of mine who travels for work, she texts me and goes, hey, what was the name of that podcast that JR mentioned about the Judds?
Yeah, Cocaine and Rhinestones.
Cocaine and Rhinestones. And I told her, and she was like, man, that was awesome. They were completely effed up, but like,
Yeah.
holy cow. but
Yeah.
my point is, some of this, we say a lot of stuff that don't make any sense, but some of the stuff that we recommend to you guys, I really think y'all would enjoy if you go seek it out, such as the George Jones show and Cocaine and Rhinestones and different things.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna point you in a bad direction.
No, because at anything I feel like sometimes I'm overexposed to stuff because it's too much coming in. I can't even process it all. But the gems that make it out that I remember and we talk about on here, they're usually worth watching. Like I said, you just tell me after you watch the guy about the dongles video, laughing guy on the dongles video on YouTube, and tell me that's not worth 4 minutes out of your life that you'll laugh about.
You'll end up watching about 40 times in a row,
and you'll laugh as hard as the guy on there does.
Yeah.
Especially if you own Apple products. But shout out to Apple. Y'all want to come on and get us some computers? I've got all Apple stuff. Anyway. So yeah, you'd be surprised. People do listen to I'm the same way. I think just fast forward through when I'm just babbling my crap. But I listen to a lot of podcasts too. This is what you're into. So I appreciate you guys. All right, next one I got here is another shout-out type deal. This is from our buddy PJ Marshall. He wants to give a shout-out to his buddy Greg Duncan on his birthday, June 3rd. Can't wait to see y'all back on the road. We had tickets to see JM and Tracy Lawrence in Champaign, Illinois that got canceled due to COVID. Most recently, we saw JM and TL in September of 2019 at the Tri-State Rodeo in Fort Madison, Iowa. Thanks in advance. So PJ Marshall want to give his buddy Greg Duncan a shout out because his birthday's June 3rd.
Craig.
Shout out Greg. With a G.
I'm on Greg.
I'm old Greg.
That's another video y'all need to go check out. That's a little bit wilder. We'll tell you that one later.
Stuff.
Pretty
funny.
Thank you guys for being excited about shows and coming out, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yeah, Tri-State Rodeo in Fort Madison, Iowa. I remember that. I love playing those rodeos like that. Next one I got here is Michael Coveto. He even says last name is hard to pronounce. Sorry. It's all right. I get it. Michael Coveto and his fiancee, Ashley Rodriguez, giving them a shout out. They're getting married August 14th, 2021 in Katy, Texas. They invited us, but we've got a show that day. Yeah, we've got a show that day, and we can't do it. That would have been my granddad's birthday, too. But we got a show, so we can't make the wedding. But shout out to Michael and Ashley on their nuptials coming up soon. Stay the course. Keep us updated on how that all goes.
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah, man, no doubt. Next one we got here on Twitter, Jeremy Mackey, EC Fan 01. Cannot wait until June 5th. Justin Moore at Murfreesboro at Hop Springs. Going to be a hell of a time. # Justin Moore Podcast. Yes, it is, Jeremy. We're looking forward to that, too. That's the June 5th show in Murfreesboro, Tennessee he was talking about. Next one I got here is from our old buddy Kyle Lawler, old NASCAR buddy Lawler77 on Twitter. He's got a 3 here real quick, so I just lumped them all together. I'm a GM guy through and through. My old man worked for GM for 27 years. This has got to go back to when we were talking about trucks on our last Q&A session. Second, he's like, I'm on Team Justin when it comes to electric vehicles. Not my thing at all. Third, when you add this is a question, and I don't exactly know the answer to this. You do, obviously, Just. When you add a brand name to a song, example, Chevy or Bobcat, do you need permission or a copyright deal of some sort? Like when you write a song and if you want to name drop something, can you just drop it?
No, you don't. It's a good question though. But no, you don't. And honestly, I don't know why you don't. I guess that maybe that's under free speech. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, good one. I same thing. I don't know.
I'll have to check into the workings behind that. But no, you don't. It's like I said though, it's a good question. I've never even thought about it, to be honest with you. You would hope that whatever brand that you name check would take it as a positive rather than a negative, I guess.
Yeah, right. Free press.
But yeah,
as long as you're not dogging them.
I've never even thought about that, but that's a good question.
All right. Yep, definitely good question. Kyle Lawler, old buddy, good one. Next one I got here is from Craig at CSROB6620 on Twitter. It says, JR the Handler, answer to the question on this week's podcast of the artist who recently has done a blend of country and southern rock. Cadillac 3, get them boys on the cast. That's a good one. TC3.
Yeah, they're a little more rock to me than southern rock, but I can see where he's coming from. But they're definitely awesome. I mean, I love them, and for sure need to get them on here. They would be great. They're all great. Yeah. They're incredibly talented first and foremost, but secondly, they're really really good people and good friends of ours. So yeah, definitely would love to get them on.
Yeah, they all write, they all play. I've known Kelby forever. You've known Jaron forever. Hell, I remember first time I saw the Cadillac 3 was before they had changed their name to Cadillac 3. They were opening for ZZ Top out at the amphitheater at the Fontanelle out when I used to live in Whites Creek, Tennessee. And man, I remember going up after the show and getting one of them's attention. Was like, hey guys, I like what y'all are doing. Y'all ever need a road manager? I was with Southern Hall at the time, but I was like, I got plenty of time if y'all need somebody to help you from here and there. Because I thought, man, this is a good rock band here.
What's incredible about those guys is that they're a three-piece. They do all that as a three-piece, and boy, that's a lot of space to fill up. I mean, for instance, we're a six-piece with me playing acoustic, and the sound that they get out of a three-piece band is just pretty incredible. But yeah, I'll tell you how much I love TC3. I don't go to concerts ever unless I'm playing one.
Yep.
But every time they come to Little Rock, I go see them play because I have that much respect for them. And another guy that I wanted to go see, and another guy we're trying to get on the podcast, a friend of ours, Cody Johnson, was just here in Hot Springs, and I came real close to going and seeing him play. But my wife had made dinner plans with a couple friend of ours, so we didn't. But he was just here, and a little cousin of mine went, Drew, and he said it was just awesome. He was, and Jansen was just here. I wanted to go see him as well. They were here back-to-back nights, and
nice.
I didn't get to go see either one of them.
Yeah, I know Cody's coming to Alabama this weekend. Somebody hit me up this morning asking about that. Yeah, I think he's actually playing in Dothan where we played.
And neither one of them buttholes called me. I guess they forget I live here. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Oh, they figured you's busy on the tractor.
Well, I was softballing, so that was another reason I didn't go see one of them. I forget which one, but.
Yeah, and I remember that. Yeah, last time TC3 was in Little Rock, we went to the Rev Room.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, all of us. We went to the Rev Room. I think we may or may not even taken the bus down there. All of us.
We did.
Yeah, because we took some friends of yours, and that's where Cowboy Steve Hood, one of our bus drivers, and I first walked in to try to find where we were going. And Morgan Wade was playing, and if y'all hadn't heard the name Morgan Wade lately, I just saw where she's going on tour with Ashley McBride coming up soon, but. She blew us away that night. We were going there to see the TC3, but left. I was like, I'm looking up this Morgan Wade gal because she has got some great tunes and great presence. And I saw she's got a song on the charts now, so y'all check her out. But that's where I first saw her, was opening for the Cadillac 3. She's friends with Jaron. Was at the Rev Room in Little Rock. So, we went. We did the whole thing to go see them play. And, man, of course, they killed it. So, that'd be a good one. We could either get them all on, or he'll even get Jaron on to talk about all the songs he's wrote and other stuff he's produced and worked on.
For sure.
I mean, he's got his hands on all kinds of stuff. So, definitely good one there. Next one I got here is from our buddy Joshua Pettyjohn at WOFOJP61 on Twitter. The number one country song the day I was born was Still Losing You by Ronnie Millsap. And he said his Mount Rushmore of country music artists was Hank Sr., Hank Jr., Keith Whitley, and The Hag. So good ones right there.
That was a good one.
Joshua. Yep. Got a cute video. Some Amber Walton, A Mills, 1825 sent in on Twitter. It was cute. It was her little boy standing on the stove with pots and pans and his drumsticks, singing one of your tunes. She writes, Colby shares the same passion for country music like his mom and dad, singing his favorite. Can't wait till the day we can take him to his first Justin Moore concert. Hashtag Justin Moore podcast, hashtag biggest South Jersey fans, hashtag come tour our farm and play. So, yeah, it was really cute little boy up there. I can't remember which one. I think it was Backwoods or one of those. He was tapping it out. It was pretty
Jay-Z. I love it.
Yeah. Shout out to Amber Walton and her family. Next we got here is Brett Bierbauer. Cool name. At Bierbauer R. JR, if y'all do some Q&As on JM's podcast this week, I got one for him. 90s movie fighting action star. Who does he like better, Steven Seagal or Jean-Claude Van Damme? Did you watch much of those fighting movies coming up?
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I really didn't watch much of that, but probably
for your era.
Probably Seagal. I don't know why, but
he could really fight.
He was really an icon back in the early 90s, which they both were.
Right.
But no, I wasn't really much into those type movies, to be honest with you.
See, I was. And for me, I liked Seagal, but the way he did his everything was the same. And when he would run, he ran so goofy. Like he was running to chase somebody, run away. He ran so goofy.
I like the ponytail, man.
The ponytail. I tell you, hey, going back to some fine television watching, go back about 10 years ago and watch this show he did where he was a lawman in Louisiana.
Was it New Orleans?
Yes.
Yeah. He was basically like a cop or something.
Yeah. And he had a tank and would kick people's doors in. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. So, but yeah, y'all check that out. But Jean-Claude Van Damme, he could do the splits. And he had a movie my brother and I used to like called Double Trouble or Double Impact, when it was him playing himself as his twin brother and him. One was nice and one was evil kind of thing. Yeah, but anyway, I like them both. So that's a tough one. That could be definitely a Mount Rushmore we could do at some point, is the 80s, 90s action movie figures, when you got Stallone and Mel Gibson. You had some great Arnold.
Yeah.
Those are some good ones back then, so that might be a good one to get to at some point, but we'll go back on that. I got this one, and I didn't even get to talk about my past weekend, and this kind of goes into that. Our buddy old Doc Neiman on Twitter asked, JR, did you imply Josh is going somewhere? Do we have a new guitarist on the way? Actually, yes, we do. Josh is retiring and moving back to Missouri. Bought him some land up on Table Rock Lake, and I about can't blame him, man. It's beautiful country up there, and he's going to be back closer to his family. His little brother's graduating high school, so he was just ready to get off the road. But I actually saw he and his family and his girlfriend Juliana and them, they were in town this past weekend, or all last week. Yeah, and they had bad weather most of the week, unfortunately, but the weekend shaped up, and we went and met them. Thursday or Friday night, we went and met and had dinner and had drinks at the Floribama after, and got to catch up with Josh. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Yeah, and
he must be doing okay because he picked up the tab. So I appreciate that, brother Josh.
He's probably making more than I paid him. But no, and I'll say that, or I'll say this in response to that it really. I'll try not to cry here, but Josh was with me from the very beginning of this thing, and really, really sad to see him go, but at the same time, happy for him that, he's at a point where he feels settled where he is and has a great girlfriend, future wife, and he's around his family. And but man, we're gonna miss him. He was he's been just a huge part of our success over the last 14 years or whatever it's been, and I don't think I didn't beg him to stay, because I did. But yeah,
and he's going to come back, He's not all the way out the door. When we're close, he's going to come sit in.
Oh yeah, for sure. But it's super. selfishly super sad to see him go, but also very happy for him. And he's a lifelong friend of ours, regardless if he's in this band or he isn't. He's always a part of our lives for sure. But yeah, we will have a new guitar player in place, and we'll also have a new keyboard player. So I think this time has, I don't know, maybe shown a light over things that matter most to people, and Corey, our piano player, he's been here from the get-go as well, and the same sentiments go to Corey as well. He was a huge part of our success also. I hate to see him go as well, but he's got a lot going on and other things that he's looking to accomplish, and wish him nothing but the best also, and he'll be around also, and still lifelong friends with him also. But
there's a lot of that. There's going to be a lot of that. I mean, with I saw a lot of my buddies moving. I mean, people that didn't work last year, and now bands are going, and some people don't want to go out, and some people have found new jobs, and it's going to be a little shakeup. I mean, we've taken 18 months off, and we're not used to taking 8 weeks off, so it's going to be a little shakeup all over. I feel.
So yeah, we'll look a little different on stage. We'll have a couple of new guys, but maybe that'll bring some new energy to the crew.
Yeah, I haven't met him yet. So, well, actually, I did meet. We know Will, who's playing piano with us now, and hope he stays around. Will Hutchinson, I love that guy. He's a fishing fool, and he's a great guy. He's funny as all get out. So maybe we can get him and the new guitar player whenever we get all that settled in on the Justin Moore podcast.
There you go. That's a good idea.
We could. Yeah, put them through a little boot camp and see what they got on country music and sports knowledge, and see how that's going to work. But yeah, I'm gonna miss our guys. God, Corey was so damn funny with all his mess, and Josh was my late night buddy. He was one of the only ones that'd stay up and philosophize the world's problems with me way on to the wee hours of the morning. So I'm gonna miss my buddy and former roommate and everything else. But happy for him in the same, no doubt. Next one I got here is from old Kevin Martin. 91 on Twitter. He goes, "Hey, Justin JR, is there ever a chance or possibility of either of you writing a book one day?"
I've actually thought about that.
Hell, I can't get him to cut liners, much less get the book done.
It's true.
How long will that take? We better start now if we're going to do it by the time you're 60.
Yeah, no, I've thought about it when my career's over, because if I did so, I would want to be 100% completely honest about things, and
right.
if I did it before, I'd probably piss some people off. So I'll probably wait to do that. But it's something I have actually contemplated.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like y'all are getting little paragraphs of the future book here on the Justin Moore podcast every week. You get little snippets of what's going to be in the book one day, and yeah, the tell-all book's coming way later. Skinner don't play Freebird first, so you're gonna get
there
this.
You go.
And one day we'll give you all the dirt, as they say, one day. And I'm in the same boat. Obviously, much as I like to jibber jabber, I'm definitely gonna have a book or two on some different subjects at some point, and probably standing in the shadows type thing one time of my escapades. But I've got too much going on right now to get that done. Hopefully we won't have a break like we had to last year, but we'll have some kind of, in the future when we're not doing 100-something shows a year, maybe there will be more time we would go out to the lake. We can start
when we're Josh and we can freaking retire.
You're right. Semi-retire to the mountain homes. Yeah, right. So I don't know how long. I know they're talking about kids and all that stuff. So he's about to get a real dose. He's been bachelor for a long time.
About to get real. You can leave it at that. About to get real.
Sure. So, oh man, this was a funny one. I laughed at this one after I read it and then watched and then read it again. This is from Ryan Brewer on Twitter. He goes, "First time I ever blacked out was at your concert in St. Louis when you brought the Stanley Cup on stage." He sends a video of the night that you had the Stanley Cup a couple years ago when we were there. They handed up and we had sat it on stage and all, which was super cool. It has its own handler, and we didn't know that they travel with it. It gets to go to each city that has a team.
Basically, it does a tour.
It does its own tour. Yeah, the Stanley Cup
Yeah.
has a tour, and it happened to be there in St. Louis, and we were there that night, and they had just won it. But he says, I was wondering if you ever had the opportunity to bring any other championship trophies on stage. By the way, that's me in red, because in the video he's showing you do it. Then he clips to him, and he's woo. And then apparently a couple hours later he's blacked out. But he made it. He's okay because he's well enough to send us this email or Twitter.
I don't think so. The only other thing that would be close is the belt buckle that you got, which was also hockey related.
Yeah. Well, we had the Red Barons Cubs championship ring. You sported that one night for a little while. That was backstage.
That wasn't on stage. I don't think so. I think that's the only like major championship thing we've done from the stage.
Yeah.
I think
on the stage. Yeah. I'm going to be hunting that out. Next time we have any buddies that show up that are ex-athletes and have any type of championship hardware, I'm going to make them go stand on stage, and we could count that as stage stuff. But that was a great question, though. That was a good one. I'm glad you're doing okay, Ryan, and after your blackout event at the Moore concert. I too was blacked out after that show in St. Louis that night. Imagine that. Anyway. Next one here. Oh, and this is one I got a couple on, and I'm going to answer 2 and 1, I think. If I had them together, I thought anyway. Sorry, but I had a few people ask me this, and it's about another song on there. Aaron Ryan on Twitter asked, "JR, do you know who is singing with Justin on "You Keep Getting Me Drunk"? Maybe my favorite one off the new album." And I had a few people ask me that about the who is that singing back up with you on "You Keep Getting Me Drunk," and I answered a few people through social media, but I figured you could explain the backstory and who that is and how that all comes about.
Yeah, Sarah Buxton, who's an incredible artist in her own right. She had a record deal, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 years ago, and had a couple of singles out that, for whatever reason, just didn't pop for her. But I've said this a number of times, that she is my favorite singer that I've ever met or heard since I moved to town and got into this industry. She's just an incredible vocalist. And so she's been on, she's been on 4 or 5 of our songs over the years. She and I met, 15 years ago or something like that. And she's been on a number of our songs, but the volume of her vocal was turned up on this particular song, so everybody's asking actually who that is because she sounds so good. But yeah, it's Sarah Buxton. So you could probably look her up and find some stuff that she's done for, her own artistry. But she's really, really good.
Yeah. No doubt. Sarah Buxton. Yep, that's the answer. I've let a few people know that. Yeah, phenomenal. And, yeah, she's been on a couple of yours, and I've always thought, who is that singing? And it's always Sarah Buxton usually. Next one I got here is from Jeremy Mackey again. He said, what a great album. I got to say, More Than Mine is my favorite. Thanks for continuing to put out great country music. Got to vote for More Than Me,
Thank you.
which is a great tune, no doubt. Another one here is Craig Wall on Twitter says, great music on the new album. I've worked in country radio for over 27 years, and if She Ain't Mine No More isn't a smash hit, then country music and radio is lost. Agreed.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I like that song, too. We've been playing it live. It's fun.
Yeah, it's a great tune. I love it. It's good. Even Teresa's aunt hit her up about that, which is random. She never even asked it. I didn't think she knew what I did. This one was pretty cool. Our buddy this is on Instagram at Brown T. His profile picture is a baby's foot and the lyrics to More Than Me on his ribs. I mean, it's big too.
Wow.
He's got the lyrics to More Than Me on his ribs right there. It's pretty cool.
Already, that's quick.
Already, yeah, I know, right? It looked cool too. Like the foot was like the impression they put on the birth certificate.
That's awesome.
And it was on his ribs right there, and it was cool the way it scrolled out there. But he said, so I guess his daughter is named Oakley Ray. So he said, no one's going to love you more than me, Oakley Ray. And I thought that was awesome. And then it made me think of our buddy DDP. Yeah, it made me think of the same name as DDP's granddaughter, who's been living with him a lot. Brittany's daughter, Oakley,
right. Yep.
Paige Palmer, OPP, Oakley is her name as well, Oakley Page. But yeah, so Oakley Ray, Daddy loves you, little girl. He never gonna forget you. He's right there. I thought that was real cool. Thanks for sending us that pic. Yeah, if y'all got pics of tats that y'all have got any Justin's music or anything cool, country music in general, use the hashtag Justin Moore Podcast and send us those too. See, this one's Alicia Harvey on Twitter. She said, in response to albums where artists have brought older artists on to do a cover album, you should check out Terry Clark's album Classic, released back in 2012, and also have her on the podcast, Heart, Heart, Heart. I forget, that is I have heard that record, and yes, would love to have Terry Clark on here sometime. She does her Backstage Country Gold podcast that you've been on once or twice, I know. And yeah, she'd be a great one. Big fans of Terry Clark.
Yeah,
I have to go
for sure.
Download. I need to go get that album again because I remember I've heard some of it, but I need to download it in my iTunes. Here's one pretty interesting. Our old buddy Red Blooded American on Twitter. I've got a few questions for a future JM podcast if possible. I heard you calling Justin Thunderhead a few times. Is that his nickname or just between y'all? Movie night with the kids and wife. That's another one. Next one is movie night with the kids and wife, plain or buttered popcorn. Thanks and God bless.
Oh, way too much butter.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say, my wife doesn't like it buttered. I do. I like it dripping down my arm when I reach in.
She likes hers burnt.
Yeah, she likes hers burnt. So my wife is very odd. She likes her popcorn burnt. So everybody, I'm sure, has a microwave that has a popcorn button. So to make her popcorn, you do that, and then when it's done, you hit an extra minute. And so the house stinks. It's the strangest thing ever. I don't get it.
I can remember when we first met
the
years ago
bus,
on the road. Yeah, she came to our bus and she's like, "Can I use y'all's microwave?" I'm like, "No, it's fine." She said, "Hope y'all don't mind it. I mean, I like my popcorn burnt." And I was like, "Huh?"
Which is
or
gross.
I might actually said, "Hey, I might actually even said, hey, your popcorn's burning. I can smell it." She said, "No, I like it that way. That's why I'm over here because Justin gets so mad and nobody was on here. I thought I could do it and let it air out." She said, "I was like, so you're trying to burn your popcorn? You're the first person
no doubt
ever.
about it. Yeah.
Usually your goal is to get it all popped without any of it burning, and usually the foul is to let it burn just a little."
Oh, yeah.
But she likes hers burnt.
Yep.
So I'm with you. If I go to the movie theaters, definitely buttered. At home, I don't do a whole lot at home anymore. And I try to go skinny if I'm at home, so I just add a little salt to it.
Oh no!
But,
here's what I do. I'll put some butter in a little measuring cup thing
and melt it.
Yeah, well, I pour Tony's all over it, and then melt it and pour that over.
And shake
so
it
that's
around.
what I do.
Yeah,
Tony Sasheries for those out there who don't know what Tony's is.
Yeah,
it's a Cajun seasoning.
Yeah, standard Cajun seasoning does everything. Yeah, I actually, when we were at the movies the other week for Emily's birthday, saw Naya and the Last Dragon, which is a cute little movie. I got a huge thing of popcorn, and boy, don't you know I juiced it up.
Oh,
good.
yeah.
But I did get a water. I didn't get a soda to go with it. I got a water. I didn't pull a Colt Ford and get a double soda, 2 bags of popcorn. We'll tell that story one day. Yeah, you think going to the movie? That's what we need to do is do a field trip one day. Next time we're on the road and Colt's with us, we do a field trip going to the movies with Colt Ford. That's always a fun experience. And yeah, so yeah, I call Justin Thunderhead every now and then. That is kind of an inside thing. It comes from a Hank Jr. video we watched one time where he's talking about something and he just goes, "I know you, Thunderhead," Thunderhead Hawkins or something, and we just got a kick out of it. It reminds me of Justin, so I was just like, "Oh, I know you, Thunderhead." So that's
we have no idea what it
Bocephus
means,
reference.
but we just stole it.
No, we don't know.
Bocephus.
Yeah, it sounded awesome, so we just add it to our daily report.
I know you, Thunderhead.
I know you, Thunderhead. Everybody on the road needs a Merle. That's a great video. Next one I got here is on Insta. This is D Wadding 583. So JR and JM Brantley asked on TikTok, "What's the worst country music song of all time?" Sounds like might be a good JM podcast debate. I don't know about that. That's hard to say. I mean, that'd go back to what I like and what I don't like. And I'd say worst. I know me and Party argued one time over this George Jones song that he said, "That's a terrible song." And I'm like, "No, I love it." And we both like a lot of the same music, but you know, everything's different. So worst country music song?
God, Golly,
I don't know.
I'd have to think.
That's almost as bad as say which one's the best. I don't know, and I don't know. And for me, the
back
ones that are the
thing
worst.
up, maybe by me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, every JR intro on the Justin Moore podcast. Because I'm just like, I don't really, if I don't like it the first time, I probably don't listen to it many more times. So I don't really.
I'm really trying to think. I'd have to go through my phone. I'm trying to think of something I really hated.
I know stuff that's bad, and even though I know it's bad, I still like it. They're quirky stuff, but there's things I just don't like because I don't like the way it sounds to me. I don't say a lot of people like it, but it might not be something I like. So that might be something we can come back.
I'm gonna have to look at my phone and think about that.
And if y'all,
I will totally be honest with you. I'll give you an answer. I'm not trying to like avoid the question. I want to give you a good answer. Because it could be a friend of mine, and I'll still be like, buddy, I love you, but that was terrible.
Right.
Like I don't have a problem with that. I want to think of something that.
Yeah, and a few that I don't like, even if some of our buddies, it's not my jam, I would say it's the worst song ever in country music either. You know what I mean? I'll give you one. I listened to Tyler Coe on that podcast, Cocaine and Rhinestones. He was talking about some stuff the other week, and he was saying somehow it came up about the song Teddy Bear. The truck driver song about the guy calling home and little teddy bear on, the old song. And it was a huge song. But he said that was one of the worst country music songs ever. And I always thought, it's kind of cute. But then you think about it, you're like, yeah, it was actually terrible. And it was all contrived and nothing made sense if you listen to it. And it totally could never happen and this and that. But you're thinking, well, it's just been around so long. I wouldn't say it's the worst. But
hell, I kind of liked it.
That's what I thought.
Really.
And then I'm trying to think, is it terrible? And I just think I like it because it's hokey. But I like a lot of hokey stuff. So that's what I'm like. I don't know. It'd have to be individual, I guess. That's like Sharice. She doesn't like certain stuff. I don't know.
I'll have to think about that.
Yeah, let's think about that. And if any of you guys want to chime in and give us some to pick from that you think.
Yeah, maybe that's what we should do. Let's get a list of like 8 or 10 and pick from the list or something.
Yeah, and if the worst one is somebody we know or still around, we'll try to get in touch with them and we'll have a discussion about this. Yeah, what were you thinking? No, but it probably was a big old number one, and they were thinking, hell, I like the song. We cut it. It went to number one. I think I like it all right.
Right.
So there we go. But that's it. That was a good one. D-Wadding 583 on Instagram. Here goes another one kind of along the same here. We'll just wrap it up with this one. Then I want to get a few other things in. This is Sean Pepper 10 on Instagram. Says, JR, wanted to settle some bets with a buddy of mine of the best Hank Jr. song ever. My guess was Dinosaur.
Golly,
interested
that's like
to hear y'all's.
Your kids, golly.
I know y'all are some big Hank Jr. fans. Yeah, no doubt. I was like, well, I mean, Country Boy Can't Survive. All my rowdy friends have coming over. All my rowdy friends have settled down. I mean, Good Old American Way, Whiskey on Ice. I mean, there's so many good. That's going to be you have to do a bracket with something like that. You just have to do a bracket. I know my buddies, and I was a part of Every Playlist Tells a Story a few weeks ago. They were doing a bracket of greatest Led Zeppelin songs. We may have to do something like that with this Hank Jr. songs. If one of the social media outlets doesn't get on it before then, which y'all go ahead and do the work if you want to, and I'll talk about it on here. But that's tough. Hank Jr. song. Psh.
I think I'll give you my favorite. I don't know if it's the greatest. It could be, but Heaven Can't Be Found is my favorite Hank Jr. song.
And see, I like Clovis, New Mexico.
I've looked
Montana Cafe.
I've looked all over hell, but Heaven Can't Be Found.
I mean, it's as good as it gets.
That's my favorite, but I don't know that it's the best. It could be the best, but
like I said, when that piano hits, all my rowdy friends. I mean, if that don't make you, that's another. Pull back the curtain a little bit. That is usually the song last played before Justin and I walk off the bus
every time. That's the ritual. I got ketchup on my blue jeans. I just earned my hand. Lord, it's hard to be a bachelor man. I got girls that can cook. I got girls that can clean. I got girls that can do anything in between. I gotta get ready, make everything right. 'Cause all my rowdy friends are coming over tonight. Do you want to try? Yep.
I mean, that's it. And it's about time we walk
Yes,
off the
I
bus.
do. Do you
Yes,
want to party? Yes, I do.
Yes, please.
This is
So
Rockin'
that's-
Randall, Hank.
We're to get the summertime started.
I'm about to get fired up right now.
I know. I'm ready. I know it's noon.
I gotta
time.
go bush hog, but I'm about to get fired up right now, brother,
Right.
cousin.
Brother, I know you, Thunderhead. Yes, brother. So anyway, yeah, that's a good one too. We'll have to get back on that, but I mean, hard to beat. All my rowdy friends are coming overnight, and that is, like I said, that's the song I'm going to be playing as we walk off the bus every night. So thanks for all that Q&A. Appreciate y'all using the hashtag Justin Moore Podcast. Makes it a lot easier for me to find this stuff. If any slip through the cracks and I didn't get, and it's been a while, shoot them to me again. Sorry about that. I'm, like I said, not as technical and all this stuff as I will be at some point, but try to get them all rounded up. And thanks to everybody to sending those in on wherever you listen to or hear the Justin Moore Podcast or watch it, or you interact with us on social media at Justin Cole Moore, at JR the Handler, hashtag Justin Moore Podcast. Thanks, guys. I like this routine of doing a few guests, then doing one of these and catching up, a few guests, doing one of these. So y'all make sure to keep them in and all that stuff we talked about. So we'll have a lot more to talk about next time.
And so you guys know, we have I've got 3 or 4 guests in mind that are starting to line up for the next handful of weeks. So we'll have some more great guests on. But I'm with you. I like to catch up with the fans as well, and do this from time to time. And we've had a lot of great guests this season. So to do this every so often is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree. And I've got some when we get off the air I want to talk to you about anyway, because I've actually got a couple that I want to run by you and see about timing when we want to do and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I've got it right here, actually. I want to run this down for everybody. Just talking about guests, I sent this out to somebody the other day that asked about some sponsorship stuff, who all's been on the podcast, what do y'all talk about, that kind of stuff. And I after looking at this list, I'm like, man, we have covered some ground. Season 1, Brantley Gilbert, Diamond Dallas Page, the Double Barrel Ace, your band, Tracy Lawrence, Chris Jansen, Granger Smith, Pete Hartung, your manager, John Party, Riley Green, Derek Oquan, the Hankett Belt Buckle guy, and Marty Smith from ESPN. That was Season 1. Season 2, David Lee Murphy, Casey Beathard, Colt Ford, Travis Denning, Kip Moore, Kate Moore, Chris Cobb from the Saving the Stages Act, Red Akins, Low Cash, Heath Sanders, John Schneider, Bo Duke. Third season, we kicked it off with Austin Dillon, who's sitting at number 11 in NASCAR standings this week. Lainey Wilson, who I just saw, she's going out on tour to open Aldean's tour. Awesome, good job.
Nice.
Kevin Nagandi from ESPN, Jeremy Stover, your longtime producer, Chris Shiflett from the Foo Fighters, Travis Tritt, Matthew McConaughey, Jamison Rogers, and Dylan Carmichael. It's a pretty strong lineup when you write it out in front of you like that. It's a pretty strong lineup, and I know if you're keeping count there, not as many female guests as male guests, but we have asked. Not gonna say we hadn't asked. I know during quarantine a lot of people didn't want to get on the Zoom machine and stuff, but we do have some lined up, and obviously we got a bunch of cool girlfriends and sisters out on the road, but just getting all that timing lined up. And as we started this, it was just for us to catch up, and it's kind of morphed into 2. Also, I try to time it to when I'm booking these guests, they got something to come on and do, music coming out or new video or something, instead of just coming on and wasting a spot, or not wasting a spot, but, a spot where they could get a little bump in some stuff they need, a little, help moving whatever project they're working on along. So that's been some of it too. Lainey had new music coming out, boom, had her on, and then so we got a couple more like that, and got a lot of great guests in mind, and we've got a list of possible guests that we've talked to that said they would. We just got to find dates, and with Justin and I, between his bush hog and my hanging out the beach on the boat, sometimes we let it slip through the cracks, but we're on it. Justin's on it, I'm on it, we're on it. So thank y'all for tuning in each and every week here on the Justin Moore Podcast, keeping this thing rocking. I was going to do This Week in Country Music. I got a bunch of good ones here. They kind of all go together. I collected up. But before I go any farther, I want to do the number 1 songs on the day we were born. I want to give my mom's song. She was born a while back. It's my mom. So, I'm 41. She's 20 years older than me. You can do the math. So on May 19th, the year she was born, the number 1 song in the country, which tells you about country music, and this is a hokey one, but a classic to me, and some people probably think it's terrible if you like today's country. It was The Battle of New Orleans by Johnny Horton.
Wow.
You remember that?
Yeah.
That was the drum. And the British kept coming, But there wasn't quite as many as there was a while ago.
Hank Jr. covered that.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I wonder what can't remember which album that was on, but I remember.
I don't either, but he did.
He's had about
definitely covered
600
it.
albums.
He definitely covered it, though.
And that goes back to why, if I had to pick one artist out of any genre to be on a deserted island with nothing but one person's catalog, like I love all types of music, but Hank Jr. has covered so much ground and has so much material out there, you'd never get tired of listening to
Gulf of
music.
Mexico.
To the Gulf of Mexico. Yes, so good. So that was Mom's birthday song. Happy birthday, Elisa Joe. All right, so we're here. We got 1948. Born this week in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, was Joseph Bonsall Jr., singer of the Oak Ridge Boys, who scored the 1978 U.S. Country #1, "I'll Be True to You."
Golly, so he's 73, if my math is correct.
Yep, that sounds right.
Wow.
Yeah, and still rocking. I mean, we do shows with those guys every year. Love those guys. One of the highlights of my career is getting to sing Elvira on the bus.
Oh my gosh!
On the Oak Ridge Boys
You can find
bus.
that if you go back in my Twitter and stuff. You can probably find that. But yeah, I was like, man, can we please sing Elvira? And they were like, yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Elvira.
Yeah, they were like, Dwayne, go put some pants on.
Yeah. My heart's on fire for Elvira. Giddy up, boom, bop, a mile.
Yeah, we did the whole thing. It was great. They were great. So, yeah, shout out to Joe on his birthday this week.
Hey, they would be great guests as well.
Yes. Oh, some characters they are,
Yeah.
buddy. Yes. And William Lee Golden, he lives right up the road
Dwayne,
from
go
me in
put your
Bruton,
britches
Alabama.
on.
Yeah, Dwayne, put some britches on. These boys want to take a picture.
He's literally walking around the bus in his underwear.
Yeah, he had like this super nice pearl snap on, like this dress shirt and his damn underwear and socks. It was all. He was getting cooled off. They just played. That was a big festival.
My balls was hot.
Yeah. Great UFC moment. Yeah, my balls was hot.
My balls was hot.
Anyway, so yeah, love the Oak Ridge Boys. One of my all-time favorites, no doubt. 1950, George Jones married his first wife, Dorothy Bonvillain. The couple divorced slightly more than a year later. So 1950, George got married his first time before Tammy Wynette. And I thought this was neat because I didn't know this for all my buddies down in Terrebonne Parish, Louisiana. I got Mark and Matt Bonvillain, which is spelled Bonvillion. And it took me a while to figure out how to pronounce it, but I saw her name and I said, hey, I can pronounce that. Let me say it. So shout out. I wonder if that was my buddy's great aunt or something that George Jones married once. You never know. So shout out to them, my buddies, all my buddies down in South Terrebonne Parish. Look forward to talking about that. Sports coming up. I'm actually going down next month to spend the weekend at a fish camp down in Cocodrie, and we're going to do a draft, our fantasy league, and we're doing an entire keeper league where you do 40 rounds, you draft every player on the field and position on the field, and you keep them. Each year at the end of the year, you don't pick a new fantasy team, you just keep your same team and draft and stuff. So I'm interested to see how that goes, and do some fishing and drinking, so that'll be fun.
He never invites me to these things, by the way.
That's state tournament week.
Oh, okay.
That's how I knew I was going to be able to go, because I'm like, well, state tournament, Ella State tournament. Let me go and pencil that in to go do that. So but we're going to that's going to be fun too. At some point, get back into routine when we're down there. We can travel again and go do some fishing down and have fun. Got another cool birthday this week. 1952 in Poteet, Texas, was born George Strait. Country singer, actor, producer. Strait is referred to as the king of country. He is known for his unique style of Western swing music, barroom ballads, honky-tonk style. Strait holds the world record for more #1 hits than any other artist in history of music on any chart or in any genre have recorded 60 #1 hits. 60.
Stud.
Best. I mean, geez. We were watching a video of him the other week and just like, how is he him?
He's the coolest dude ever.
It was the Dean Dillon documentary we watched.
Which is great, by the way. Go check that out if you haven't.
Tennessee Whiskey. Yeah, Tennessee Whiskey. I think it's on Amazon Prime and Netflix right now. But, yeah, so happy birthday, the King. Fellow Arkansan here on May 17th, that was a couple days ago. In 1967, while working in Capitol Recording Studios in Hollywood, Glenn Campbell recorded Gentle on My Mind, a song written by John Hortford and arranged by Leon Russell. The song went on to win 4 Grammy Awards the following year and became the thing to television variety show The Glenn Campbell Good Time Hour between 1969 and 1972.
Yep.
I remember a buddy of mine, David Gulliver, one of my first roommate when I moved to Nashville, who taught me so much about music in general, a lot about classic rock, and Glenn Campbell. I had no idea all this, but he said that's why he played guitar upside down left-handed, because when he was a little boy, he watched the Glenn Campbell Good Time Hour, and he was just doing everything Glenn did. So it was reversed on the watching it. So he learned doing exactly what he did. So he played guitar. He was a right-handed drummer. He was a drummer, but he's a right-handed drummer, but he played guitar left-handed because he watched Glenn and just copied what Glenn was doing on the Good Time Hour. So in general, on my mind, great. I love Roy Clark's version of it too. John Hortford, steam-powered aerial plane, great writer from that genre. And Leon Russell. If y'all don't know who Leon Russell is, go dig some of his tunes up. He was huge in that era, and even before, all into his. You'll know as soon as you pull him up, you'll recognize the face. Like, oh, I remember that guy. So anyway, 1968, Charlie Pride was at number 1 in the country album charts with The Country Way. Pride went on to score 39 number 1s on Billboard Hot Country Songs charts. His greatest success came in the early to mid-'70s when he became the best-selling performer for RCA Records since Elvis Presley. Two boys from Mississippi.
Golly.
Yep. Kiss an Angel, good morning. 1974, Freddie Fender was on the number 1 country music album charts with his first album, Before the Next Teardrop Falls. The album includes the number 1 hits Before the Next Teardrop Falls and Wasted Days and Wasted Nights, which our buddy Joey Gonzalez.
Wasted days and wasted nights.
So good, so good. So Joey Gonzalez, your longtime tour manager, works at our office now. That's his favorite artist of all time, Freddie Fender. And quick story, as we were talking about legalizing things earlier, it's I've heard this story and I've said it to people in passing. I'll say it on the cast. There's a story you can look up about Freddie Fender getting arrested in the late 60s, playing a club down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I want to believe it was the Texas Club, and he and his bass player stepped out in the alleyway, and the bass player fired up a joint. They smoked it. Here comes the cops. They arrest them both for that burnt joint and one joint in the bass player's pocket. They served 3 years in Angola prison for possession of less than 3 grams of a plant substance known as cannabis.
Real.
Freddie Fender, he was already successful then, but he wasn't selling number 1 hits yet. But, yeah, him and his bass player spent 3 years in Angola prison is where they do work release. They have the rodeo and stuff. It is a hard prison on the Mississippi-Louisiana border. And I think the story, from what I remember, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong on this, the story that I remember is, once that, he didn't get pardoned until the new governor came in and knew who he was and heard the story and pardoned him and was like, you got to be kidding me. How things have changed over time. So, you fast forward 50 years before that, you go to jail for drinking a beer.
Right.
So, and see how that turned out. But anyway, that's that one. 1979, another great set of artists here. The Bellamy Brothers scored their first number 1 country single with "If I Said You Had a Beautiful Body, Would You Hold It Against Me?"
Great song.
Great too.
Man, they had some cool stuff, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Country Girl.
Yeah, if I said you had a beautiful body, would you hold it against me?
Yep, the songwriter David Bellamy, one of the 2 brothers in the Bellamy Brothers, stated that he got the title from an old Groucho Marx quote used in the American quiz show You Bet Your Life, where Marx sometimes used the quote while interviewing an attractive female contestant, then shake his cigar and raise his eyebrows to elicit reaction.
You couldn't do that nowadays either.
No. So he said, Groucho Marx apparently on national television would tell the female contestants, if I said you had a beautiful body, would you hold it against me?
Could you imagine if Steve Harvey did that on Family Feud or something right now?
Right.
He'd be exiled.
So fast forward, he probably saw that show in the 50s maybe. So fast forward 25 years later, Bellamy's had a number 1 with the idea.
That's cool.
In 1984, Willie Nelson and Julio Iglesias were number 1 on the country charts with "To All the Girls I've Loved Before," originally recorded in 1980 by Bobby Vinton. It was one of 2 entries on the country chart for Julio Iglesias and Willie Nelson as a duo. The second was "Spanish Eyes," which peaked at number 8 in late 1988. So, "To All the Girls I Loved Before," great tune.
Oh, yeah. Traveled in and out my door.
Willie will do a duet with you in a heartbeat. He, like we were saying earlier, he's on.
Glad
Cody
they
Johnson's
came
new
along, giving me the song "To All the Girls I've Loved Before."
Yeah, so good.
Good stuff.
Chill country. That was that cosmopolitan chill country, the 80s. 1985, born this week. Happy birthday to my brother, Mr. John Party was born. American country music singer, songwriter who in April of 2012 released his debut single, Missing You Crazy. His second album, released in April of 2013, Up All Night, became his first top 20 hit on the U.S. Billboard Country Airplay chart, reaching number 11. So happy birthday, Junior. And 2 years after Junior, a couple days later, born in East Texas, was country singer-songwriter Cody Johnson, who we were just talking about, who is now on his 7th album, Ain't Nothing to It, reached number 1 on the Billboard Country Art charts in 2019. So in 2019, he had put out his 7th album. So
nice.
If y'all think Cody Johnson's not established country artist, go back and listen to some of those records. He's been doing it the right way for a while. So happy birthday, Junior and Kojo. And in 1990, one of our favorite singers that we like to listen to, his album's always going to get played on our list. Clint Black was on the number 1 country chart with his debut, "Killing Time." And boy, if we've heard that record once on the bus, we've heard it a million times.
That was just an incredible album. I mean, his first 2 or 3 albums were just, I'd put them up against anybody's.
Yeah, I agree. That one and Nuts' first album were both just, I mean, so good. But Killing Time, his first 4 singles, Better Man, Walking Away, Nobody's Home, and Killing Time were all on that album. Was a huge hit upon release. It established Black as one of the biggest new stars in country music. So that was in the 90s, were just a rocking after that. So that was this week in country music, the week of May 17th to the May 21st. And you heard it right here on the Justin Moore podcast. Shout out all my resources. I find that info and everybody involved. Happy birthday if we gave you a happy birthday shout out. Talking about legends, though, too, I want to give something to put on everybody's radar here coming up. Memorial Day we were talking about earlier, and we did it 2 years ago. Alan Jackson's going to participate in the PBS Memorial Day concert like we did a few years ago.
Yeah.
We were in D.C. Alan's going to do it this year, so y'all make sure to check that out. Which that's another one we need to get in touch with. If we can get him a Zoom machine in his house, we need to get AJ on here.
We're working on that. We're working on that.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
No doubt. And then again, May 29th, Colorado Springs, Colorado, Justin Moore concert. June 4th, Ford Center in Evansville, Indiana, and June 6th at Hop Springs in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, is our next tour dates coming up. So y'all make sure to go on justinmooremusic.com and there's links there to how to get tickets and all that fun stuff. Y'all check it out. And that's about all I got on my end for this week, Just. Anything else you want to leave with before we get to bush hogging? And
I'm good, man. I'm just want to say thank you to you guys for always listening and watching and all that good stuff. We appreciate it. Liking, subscribing, commenting, etc., etc. No, man, I'm just gonna go eat me a bologna sandwich on white bread and get out there on the tractor and get busy. And then get to the softball field again.
There you go.
Just like the last few days.
That's it. Yep. Home stretch here. We got another month of ball. Y'all got to take it home all the way to state, baby. That's right. I'm gonna go to the store here and get another couple of dongles to hang on my computer. I'm gonna go add to my bag of dongles that y'all all get a kick out of after you watch that YouTube video. Anyway, thank you guys. Like, rate, subscribe, hit the notification button anywhere you watch or listening to the Justin Moore podcast. Leave us a 5-star rating and a short review. We sure appreciate it. Use the hashtag Justin Moore podcast everywhere you interact with us, and we'll see you guys right back here next week here on the Justin Moore podcast. For any of you first-time listeners out there, at the end of each of our episodes, I like to do a little reading out of a book I've had that I've got a lot of use out of over the years. The book is by Mr. Charlie Daniels, and the book is called Let's All Make the Day Count, The Everyday Wisdom of Charlie Daniels. Number 30, The Sense of a Goose. 2 are better than 1, because they have a good reward for their toil. For if they fall, one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him who is alone when he falls, and has not another to lift him up. Ecclesiastes 4:9. When you see a flight of geese overhead, if they are traveling for an extended distance, they will be flying in a V formation. You'll also notice a single goose in the lead, and the others spread out in the V following the leader. This is done for aerodynamics, similar to the way NASCAR racers drift off the car in front of them. The geese do much of the same thing, flying beak to tail, taking some of the air resistance off of each other. When the lead goose gets tired, he drops back. A fresh goose takes his place, and the flight goes on. If one of the geese is in flight, gets sick, or for whatever reason has to go down to the ground, 2 other geese drop out of formation. They go to the ground with his sick bird and stay until it gets better or dies. Depending on the outcome, they return to the air and try to catch up with their flight. If they are too far behind to catch up, they'll join the formation of another flight and continue on. Geese mate for life. Sensible bunch. Lift your light high so that those whose lights are dimming may share its glow. Let's all make the day count.